On this episode,
I'm so traumatized right now.
the MythBusters have Hollywood in their sights. You've seen it 1,000,000 times, but can you really be blown away by a bullet?
Nicely done, Tori!
It's a song sung brown.
You gotta take your pants off and wear it.
As Adam searches high and low for the elusive bowel-loosening tone. And water torture. Is it real? And how long can the MythBusters take it?
Oh my God!
Who are the MythBusters?
Am I missing an eyebrow?
Adam Savage
I reject your reality and substitute my own.
and Jamie Heineman.
Quack, damn you.
I wouldn't say Jamie's an evil genius.
Between them, more than 30 years special effects experience.
When will the fun ever stop?
They don't just tell the myths, they put them to the test. In an urban wasteland, a deadly game of cat and mouse is being played out. A lone gunman stalks his prey. A fugitive flees for his life. But this time, there's no escape.
Tori, Jamie and I have a really, really fun myth to pass on to you this time.
Yeah, this one is another Hollywood-created myth, and it's the one around a person getting shot and, like, flying backwards.
So the question is, does a bullet have enough kinetic energy to transfer to a person that would, like, knock them back, whether or not they're wearing, like, a bulletproof vest or something, just like we see in the movies?
We'll show you later how Hollywood blows people away. But first, the big test. Can this really happen?
We need to come up with a realistic recreation of what would happen with a person and a real weapon.
Obviously, they aren't going to shoot a real person. So here's the idea. Build a large rack to hold up a victim it's safe to shoot. A predeceased victim with human-like physiology. A recently departed pig will be perfect.
Are we ready to roll?
And so it's once more off to the meatworks for a quick pork takeout. Though it was never going to be quick enough for vegetarian Carrie.
I'm so traumatized right now.
So now to make pigs fly backwards. Scotty and Tori get to work on the pig rig.
This is our harness, basically, that's going to hold the pig up. We're going to put its hooves, dig the hooks into the hooves, and then this will hang from our rig.
There doesn't seem to be anything this girl can't do with a welding mask and a blue flame.
I think it's going to hold up a 180-pound pig.
Hey, can you do a 360? Are you making a swing set? Yeah.
The harness needs to hang right on the edge of the hook so that any pressure will dislodge it.
I just saw you punch yourself in the head. That's so bad. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but you just punched yourself right in the head.
Can I look at that tape?
Out on the shooting range, Carrie's still not in hog heaven.
I'm a vegetarian city girl from California. I didn't have a chance.
It's okay, Carrie. The pigs were vegetarians too. In fact, they need a little fattening up to make the 180 pounds wanted for the test.
We want pretty much an identical mass to a human to really see what the effect of the bullet would be and if it throws it back. Hold on. Here, let the legs fold over. What does it say?
150 pounds.
150 pounds. You know, I think we've got some 10-pound sandbags. We could just toss one or two, like, at his neck to add a little bit more of that central mass. You know, make it more like the average person, because the average percentile, the 98th percentile male that they do all their crash testing with, it's like 180 pounds.
The pig is finally balanced to within an oink of falling off.
That's what you want.
It's the carabiner.
That's beautiful. Okay.
That's the cue for our expert marksman. Sergeant Alan Normandy, on the right, is Chief Firearms Instructor at the South San Francisco Police Department. He used to be a SWAT sniper team leader, which means the pig jokes stop now.
I mean, what do you think when you watch the movies and you see people, you know, getting blown through the door and stuff like that? Does that equate to reality in any way?
Well, in light of what we're shooting today, I'd say it's complete hogwash.
Alan may make the jokes. After all, he has the guns. And quite an impressive array of weapons it is, too.
Okay, over here, starting on the left, we have here is a Remington 700 .308 sniper rifle from the police department. Over here, we have a 12-gauge shotgun, it's a Mossberg 9200 in semi-automatic. We have a Colt M4 in .223. We also have another Colt M4 in .223. We also have a Thompson submachine gun in .45 caliber and an MP5 in 9mm.
This is looks like a pretty good cross-sampling of, like, the types of guns you see people get shot with in the movies.
Absolutely. This is the sort of stuff you'd probably encounter in most police arsenals.
The shots will be taken from 22 feet away. Statistics show that 70% of all fatal shootings happen at that distance. But first, we got to take steps to make sure we don't add to those stats.
First of all, we're going to treat all guns as if loaded. Every single gun's going to be treated as if it's loaded. Two is we're not going to point the firearm or weapon at anything that we're not willing to destroy. Three, we're going to keep the fingers off the trigger until we're actually ready to fire. And then fourth, of course, we have two range masters here, and that is don't anticipate any range commands, and if you see anything unsafe, please report it to the range master.
Unsafe? How about Adam with a gun? We already know he's no marksman.
Did I even hit it?
Over the top.
Over the top. Well, that's pretty lame.
Another round.
Adam will take the first shot. The M4 is loaded with a 9mm hollow point bullet.
All you need to do is squeeze it when you're ready. So keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Lean forward just a little bit. Excuse me, you're in full auto right now. There you go. Squeeze slowly. There you go.
Wow.
And what do you know? A direct hit.
Go ahead and put it back on S.
But wait a second, the pig hardly flinched. Surely the appropriate Hollywood-style reaction is more like this.
I mean, I didn't see anything move. Did the carcass move at all?
Hardly at all.
It
Yeah.
moved a little bit, but that could have been a fly that landed on it.
It's a setback, all right. Maybe what they need is something with a little more power, like, say, a Thompson submachine gun. The .45 caliber bullet leaves the carcass unmoved.
I think we just need to keep on moving up higher through the calibers.
This is a 44 Magnum. We're going to be shooting a 240 grain bullet out of it. This is the same caliber that Dirty Harry uses in the movies.
In Dirty Harry's movies, people were blown away by the dozen. Maybe this will get the bacon bouncing.
Finger off the trigger till you're ready to fire.
High speed's ready.
At impact, the bullet is traveling at 1,300 feet per second. But the high-speed camera shows the pig hardly flinched.
That went right through again.
Yep.
No movement at all. I think we can start to move a little faster with this. I want to see some actual action on this.
Action Adam wants, action Adam gets.
Nope, back on stage.
Nothing.
Each weapon is more powerful than the last.
It's the same sort of bullet they use in the M60 machine gun. You remember Rambo in the first movie where he's got that belt-fed machine gun?
Yeah.
This is the same cartridge.
Rambo, now he could send the bad guys flying. Still, the pig refuses to fly like a hapless Hollywood fall guy.
I think we're hitting this pig in the perfect spot. I mean, this is where the highest concentration of his mass is. You couldn't ask for better, and it's not moving at all.
But some of the rounds have passed right through the target.
Come on.
That means most of the bullet's energy is being expended not in the body, but in the hillside behind. Last chance, a massive, solid deer slug fired from a shotgun.
Got some movement.
Oh, finally!
At last, the pig's off the hook, but let's compare with the ideal swan dive. Not even close, and Adam's not convinced the shotgun was really the cause anyway.
It just sort of fell down.
Yeah, it actually looked like it hit the hip bone, and the legs spread, and then that caused the jostling that pulled it off the hook, but it definitely didn't move back very far.
No.
So the swine has got the better of them. They couldn't blow him away like in the movies. It's time to switch to Plan B. And B stands for bad news for Buster.
Buster's going to take one for the team yet again.
The MythBusters are heading into a world of hurts.
24 speakers, $60,000 worth of sound equipment,
They're putting their dignity on the line
14 adults wearing diapers
to uncover the most diabolical secret weapon you've never heard of.
MythBusters is testing the brown note.
So what are we doing out here in the middle of an empty, windswept parking lot?
Well, it turns out you need a big place like this to test the myth of the brown note.
That's the myth that there are subsonic frequencies that you can play that will cause a human being to lose control of their bowels, or, as they say in the industry, have involuntary bowel motility.
The brown note, a mysterious sound that makes you soil your pants, or worse. Conspiracy theories dating back to the Second World War claim shady government types were secretly researching this stuff for all sorts of no good. Sure enough, in no time, Adam has tracked down some so-called audio weapons on the internet.
The device is a moderate source of ultrasonic sound and may sometimes be used to discourage a potential hostile encounter. However, we do not recommend this particular use since it may provoke certain individuals, then discourage them. I was going to rob you, but now I'm going to rob you, then kill you.
Soon enough, the rest of the team want to kill Adam too.
What? Make what go away?
The sound! I can hear it. You don't hear that? It's like a dog whistle. It's like...
Interestingly, after an hour of fooling around with these things, Adam's not feeling so great.
I feel like crap. I mean, I've got a kind of cold sweat. My head feels like it's got kind of pressure in it. I mean, it's really incredibly effective.
It's those sort of feelings the conspiracy theorists say the government really wants to tap into. And according to the myth, get the frequency right, and the vibrations hitting your body might also cause nausea. confusion, and the aforementioned loss of bowel control.
We get contacted almost every year by one of the military organizations to participate in such a program.
If anyone could build a brown note speaker, it's John Meyer. His company is a world leader in concert acoustics. Meyer sound acoustician Roger Schwenke helped bust the myth that ducks' quacks don't echo.
I'll tell you guys to be quiet because any sound will start the computer recording, and then you need to silently induce the duck to quack.
Can you quack?
Roger, from everything you've read, what is the brown note? Like, what is the range at which it's supposed to happen?
I've seen reports of this phenomenon happening at 9 hertz. I've seen a couple saying 7 and 8. I've also heard 5, and all of those frequencies are below the human hearing range.
And we're prepared to test all those frequencies today?
Oh, yes.
Sound is just vibrations. The speed of the vibrations is called the frequency and measured in hertz. 1 vibration per second equals 1 hertz. People can't hear sounds much lower than 20 hertz, but the brown note is said to fall below 10.
Well, now you said these speakers are modified. These are not off the shelf. I mean, do you have a catalog entry for the brown note subwoofer?
No, these speakers were originally they're part of a concert system, and then what we did is we modified them for this experiment. In other words, so normally our speakers don't go below 20 cycles, so these were modified to go down to 5 hertz.
So the plan is simple. Array specially modified speakers around the subject and hit them with tones until the brown note rears its ugly head. 24 speakers, 25,000 watts.
Now this is surround sound.
This could quite easily be the complete subwoofer system for a large touring rock show.
And we'll be like a couple of feet away from it.
Yes, it'll all be aimed directly at you.
You have stuff to both drive and monitor the speakers so that we know we're exactly in the right hertz range?
Yes, we'll be generating those frequencies and measuring the sound pressure level and frequency.
All we brought were diapers.
Good.
So the experts have the technology taken care of. Now, who wants to go potty on national TV?
I would love to volunteer for this sort of thing. I mean, I've stood in front of big speakers at like a big concert and stuff, and I love that way it feels, that like overpowering thing. And I can't imagine anything better than getting in the middle of this 25,000 watt stack and seeing what it does.
And since I'm notorious for maintaining my cleanliness and under all conditions, maybe it'd be best to try you anyway.
Okay.
A medical team will constantly monitor Adam's physical signs, and they're prepared for the worst.
Well, have you actually heard the story that there is a tone that can make you lose control of your bowels?
Whether it's a change of pressure in your bowels or some other kind of neurological response, that it has been said that the military used it, that people will lose their bowels at a certain tone.
Okay, ready when you are.
But remember, the brown note is also said to induce confusion, so Christine has devised a simple test to monitor that.
The idea of the puzzle is that, if he stands in front of the sound waves and the sound waves cause confusion, which is what we've heard they do, it'll take him longer to do the puzzle. So if it takes him a half an hour now and 2 hours later, then you'll know there's a big difference.
Okay.
All right.
5 minutes and 10 seconds.
All right.
Adam, you want to go on into place?
I'm ready.
So everything is ready to go. The speakers are in position. Adam's physical baseline state has been tested. Now, just one last precaution.
Adam, it's time for you to put your diaper on.
I thought I didn't have to do that till the end of the day. Oh my God.
Well, what are you doing? It's not going to do any good out there. You got to take your pants off and wear.
No.
No.
What do you think?
It's you.
I think it's going to be all the rage. Yeah, you know, Jamie, it is an omnidirectional signal. I think you and you, the cameraman, are going to have to put it on too.
Then everybody has to wear one, right?
Oh, it's really uncomfortable.
Right then, the team made a solemn pact. This moment would never be spoken of again.
No, you can't hide
And now, Adam stands ready to face the sweet, mysterious music of the brown note.
All right, guys, I'm ready when you are.
So either put hearing protection on or get out here at this distance.
Feeling pretty relaxed. I'm looking forward to seeing how I respond to all this stuff.
And 5,
So Jamie's going to be controlling this?
4, 3, 2, 1.
Right now, conspiracy theorists are on the edge of their seats. Adam is being blasted with a 5 hertz tone. And if there was a second shooter on the grassy knoll, and Mad never really walked on the moon, well, this brown note's secret weapon should have him pooping his pants any second now. Note the diaper, worn Superman style, just in case.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Now don't be fooled because you can't hear anything. Remember, 5 hertz is well below the frequency the human ear can pick up. But that sound wave is packing a punch. It's thumping out at a powerful 108 decibels. A rock concert is about 110. A normal conversation is about 60 decibels. Even so, Adam seems, unmoved.
I don't really feel anything. My heart rate's about the same. Can I do the puzzle?
Sort of psychedelic somehow. There's so many of these speakers going like this, you just want to, it's sort of hypnotic.
God.
I think 59 seconds, I would definitely say that was an improvement.
And I felt much more of a physical response to like a really loud speaker at a concert than I did from this.
So Adam's bells are more than a match for 5 hertz. The Meyer sound guys have a search on their hands.
Okay, Adam. It's going to be 7 hertz at 114 dB. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Is that all you got?
Again, the silence is deafening, and there's certainly no noise from Adam's nether regions.
Feel like you want to poo?
I can't say I want to poo. Or I can't say that I'm going to poo involuntarily.
Well, if that's not a goal worthy of the MythBusters time, they don't know what is. Adam's confident their next test will strike pay dirt.
Next up, 9 hertz, right within the mythical brown note butter zone.
Okay, we ready?
Yep.
Let's do it. You ready, Adam?
Ready when you are.
Okay. And 3, 2, 1, go.
This is 9 hertz, right? So we should be right where I should just be like all over myself.
You know, this is sometimes called the disco dump. So, can you like disco for us?
Good spot, baby. No, nothing there. Wait, let's see. Nope, nothing.
You can feel the vibration. It's pretty impressive, but it's not like, you know, like it's out of control shaking your body until something comes out of it.
Some secret weapon this is turning out to be. But here's something interesting. There seems to be a little collateral damage going on.
Physically, I did feel anxiety. I didn't feel any mental or emotional anxiety, but physically I felt something, definitely in my chest area.
Physically, I feel something in my chest. I don't feel like sitting down. I feel like I have to move around.
Even John Myers feeling the effects. He hasn't built speakers like these before.
I started feeling a little nauseous right away, like upset stomach and kind of lightheaded. So I walked away from the thing, felt a little bit dizzy.
This graphic representation of the sound wave helps explain what's going on. Adam is right in the center of the stacks, but that wave is rolling out to weave its magic on the whole team. If there are any elephants within 10 miles of here, they're going nuts right now. They use subsonic sound to communicate over long distances. But the subject of this secret sonic attack, well, he's never been better.
Okay, you're coming up on a minute here. 1 minute and 32 seconds. I think these low sound waves are actually improving your cognitive ability.
Where do we go from here?
We're going to run a 32-cycle fundamental note, which is like one of the notes on a pipe organ, and run it at about 128.
32 hertz. That's up into the audible range at an ear-splitting 128 decibels, as loud as a jackhammer.
Now you're just going to have to give me hand signals because I can't hear a damn thing. Good.
Okay, let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
Can you read this?
No, I have no problem reading it. I definitely can see that my eyeballs are vibrating from the sound.
And you sound kind of funny, too.
You will submit, Earthling. Oh, that was really cool.
I feel a little disorientation from that. Like there's something, kind of dizzying about it.
Really? I may be the worst subject ever to test this song. I don't get car sick. I don't really get seasick. I don't know.
Maybe he's a bad subject. Or maybe he just loves frustrating the audio guys. But enough's enough. They're going to blow him away with pure decibel power.
We're pulling the foam out of all the speakers to get more power out of this, and we'll see if that has any response to me in a loss of bowel control kind of way.
Loud noise is powerful. Military researchers built this device to spray a beam of sound loud enough to cause ear-splitting pain.
Okay, the foam's all out. That's really cool.
These speakers are now pumping out 154 decibels. Louder than a jet aircraft taking off. Loud enough to instantly rupture unprotected eardrums. Adam can't wait.
I can't stand the suspense. I want to get in there.
It's kind of enervating, isn't it?
It's really neat.
Sounds like, I don't know, imagine mountains moving or an earthquake coming or something.
She's right. These low frequencies are emitted in massive natural events like earthquakes and tsunamis. But now for something unnatural.
What you need to do is raise your hand if you feel anything funny that you want him to stop at. Adam, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, he's ready.
Roger's sweeping the frequency up and down between 20 and 100 hertz, watching for signs Adam's losing control. Nothing. Adam's dignity remains intact.
That last bit when I went, whoa! I mean, it was like somebody was actually drumming on my chest. Wow. And it was really intense. And the other thing was, you know how when you speak, there's like a, I could feel that just breathing.
Those are still really long wavelengths, and so it is actually physically moving air in and out of your lungs as you breathe. So, yeah, that's great that we actually saw that.
It was, wow, I mean, that was just really amazing. Everyone's got to try this.
It seems the military can save itself some trouble. Even with the help of some of the world's best audio technicians, the MythBusters just couldn't produce the brown note.
It was incredibly, powerfully intense what the sound waves were doing to my body. But not at the 5, 7, or 9 hertz range.
Did we bust the myth or not?
I think we busted the myth. I think brown note is busted.
The myth as we know it, yes, is busted.
On MythBusters, they have ways of making you talk.
Tori and Scotty are gonna make me cry today.
Or at least they think they do. Can this tiny little drop really turn the toughest spy to water?
Okay, so we have a weird psychological myth.
We have to put the Chinese water torture to the test.
Wait, is that the one where repetitive drips of water on your forehead are an effective form of torture and possibly will drive you insane?
Exactly.
That's the one.
Wow.
Water torture, the stuff of movies, or something more? Torture victim counselor Gerald Gray has certainly heard of it.
It's a process by which the prisoner is immobilized and slow drips of water are dropped onto their head. For how long, I can't say. I'm not sure what's considered an effective use of the torture.
To test if and how drips become powerful persuaders, the MythBusters have 2 experiments in mind. For the first, they'll create their own torture chamber. They'll need a rack to secure the victim, a brace to keep their head still, and a constantly dripping tap. Tori's on rack duty and seems to be taking unexpected pleasure in his work.
You know, we don't need that. Why are we going through all this trouble to build this water torture device? I mean, really, you just buy them a 6-pack and they'll tell you whatever you want to know.
He'll make a faceplate from an old mold of Adam's head, a kind of torture in itself.
Take it off! Oh, it burns! I don't want to look like Adam!
Carrie's creating a plumber's nightmare.
This valve is gate valve, and this is going to vary how fast the drips come.
Okay.
A constantly dripping tap.
So it'll just be little drips off the end, and then one will be halfway in between.
Call her a torture perfectionist if you will, but Carrie wants that drop to be as close as possible to identical every time.
I think it's actually going to be impossible for the human mind to decipher a large drip from a small drip, but just in case, we have to try every option.
I imagine I'm going to fall asleep on this thing. Trying to picture the water drop. Oh!
So they have the rig.
Could you fall asleep?
Now, as a precaution, they're calling in paramedics to monitor the test subject's health. You might remember Sanjay from a previous MythBusters close encounter of the uncomfortable kind.
Oh, Sanjay. Sanjay, will you respect me tomorrow?
So have you heard this myth of the Chinese torture treatment?
Yeah, I have. I've heard of this particular myth, and that the dropping of the water, just the actual sensation of all the sensories all on your skin, you just feel it run across. It feels like bugs running across you. So if somebody has an issue about, bugs running across their bodies, they may start hallucinating about that.
Bugs crawling on your head. Who's up for that?
Well, I think because Carrie already administered her own water torture to you, she should naturally
Good
go
idea.
first.
I'm going to have to agree.
All right.
Get on the rack.
Strap me in.
I'm actually a little shaky. Are you nervous?
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. Just relax. You'll be fine.
Carrie's being a good sport, and most importantly, she knows she can stop this at any time and be released in seconds. First, Sanjay checks her vital signs. And as this is a psychological test, Carrie will be asked a set of questions before and during the torture to establish her stress levels.
Do you feel nervous and anxious?
Sometimes.
Have you ever felt afraid?
Sometimes.
How easily do you get upset? Ever have panic spells or feel panic?
Rarely.
Okay.
You like gladiator movies.
Now remember, Carrie is free to call this off at any time. The shackles can be removed within seconds, and she's among friends. But it's still a creepy feeling.
I can't even imagine this being for real. I'm around people that I'm secure with, that I totally trust, and I know that are going to get me out of this. I have an ambulance standing by with paramedics. If this was for real, I would be screaming and struggling. I'd probably have bloody wrists and ankles by now.
I think we're ready to go.
Starting clock.
And so the torture begins. Every 2 seconds or so, a fat, cold drop of water will fall, hitting Carrie's forehead in exactly the same place every time. Every 2 seconds.
Somewhat annoying.
Everything is as it should be in Carrie's world of water torture. The drips are the right size and hitting her in the right place. So now it's time to start the second experiment.
God, it looks so painful.
Carrie has to contend with her restraints. But what about just the dripping water on its own? Would that have any effect without the discomfort of being tied down? So, comfy chair, no restraints. The victim just has to sit there and do nothing.
No, I think I can do it. I think I can do it. All right, let's get started.
This job sounds just perfect for Adam. The biggest challenge will be not going to the bathroom. But after the brown note, he knows the drill.
Lest anyone forget, there is no dignity on MythBusters.
And soon, he too is ready to take his punishment.
Feeling all right. This is not the worst thing I've ever had to do for the show. Not by a long shot. Sit in a comfy chair, get water dripped on my head all day. I think the main problem I'm going to have is going stir crazy, not going nuts from the drip.
I'm getting somewhat flustered over the fact that my arm's falling asleep.
Carrie isn't sharing Adam's sunny disposition.
I'm somewhat jumpy. I feel somebody touch me.
Okay, Carrie, I'm going to ask you some questions. This is like the same one that Scotty asked you. We're just now 15 minutes into this.
I didn't think I was going to go 15 minutes. I'm very surprised.
Do you feel nervous or anxious?
Mild.
Mild. Do you feel afraid?
Mild.
Mild. How easily would you get upset right now?
Easily.
Easily. Severe. Do you feel like falling apart or going to pieces?
Not yet.
So let's say moderate?
Moderate.
Do you feel like you're having a problem sleeping?
Yeah. Yes, I am having an extreme problem sleeping. There's 7 people standing around me and there's water dripping on my head.
After 15 minutes, Carrie thinks she's holding up relatively well. But the power of water torture is meant to increase the longer it goes on.
As most of the MythBusters crew knows, I can fall asleep just about anywhere. And I'd like to attempt to do that here, but there's this fly that's just landing on every exposed part of my body it can.
The dripping water is breaking my concentration, so I can't just zone out and forget about the pains that I'm having from being strapped down. It's constantly bringing me back to the reality that my shoulders are killing me.
Oh yeah, plenty of water. We can go for hours still.
Carrie's been on the rack an hour now. Her vital signs are still within the safe range, but the torture is starting to tell on her emotions.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, do you feel nervous and anxious?
Yes.
Would you say mild, moderate, or severe?
Severe.
Do you feel afraid?
No. Mild.
Are you getting upset, or do you feel like you're going to panic?
Extreme.
Do you feel like you're going to fall apart and go to pieces?
I actually don't want to do this test right now.
All right, let's get her out.
No, it's fine. Just give me a second, okay? I had a moment of sheer terror and panic when I was on the rack, and it was so strange. I didn't expect going into this that I was going to freak out and start crying in front of everybody. I mean, I knew I could get up at any time, but the restraints totally made me lose it.
Do you feel yourself trembling or shaking?
Yes, extreme. I just had a sudden claustrophobia attack. That's what that was a minute ago. Being bound is crazy. I didn't even feel the water at that point.
Goddamn fly! Which lands on my feet, my toes, my elbows, my hands, and it's just awful. The fly is definitely much worse than the water.
Flies aside, Adam's finding life as an unrestrained, soggy couch potato somewhat to his liking.
Long-term psychological side effects. If I haven't had any long-term psychological side effects from all the things I've already done on this show, this isn't going to hurt much more.
Are your hands feeling wet and clammy?
No.
Are you having a problem sleeping?
I think this is actually a very good torture.
Although Carrie's regained her composure, somehow this just isn't fun anymore. The experiment is becoming a little too real. Enough is enough.
I think you've proven yourself. I think you probably could stay here longer, but I'm actually going to let you loose.
Okay.
Some concern about your shoulder and all the twitching that you're doing and stuff like that. You're obviously getting, kind of aggro. And that's the last thing you need to get. Now we'll just bring it up slow.
Take it nice and slow. If you start to feel a cramp, go back to before.
Yeah.
Carrie lasted more than an hour and a half, but in hindsight, it was probably an hour and a half too long.
I'm so used to coming into MythBusters and having a blast doing everything that we do. This was a rough experiment for me. I still haven't gotten over the bruises on my wrist from the shackles.
Unrestrained, Adam is able to cope much better with the drip.
It's been about 3.5 hours. At the worst, I feel like, someone's got their finger on this spot on my forehead that the water keeps hitting.
Ultimately, it seems it's not the waterworks above his head that will defeat him.
These adult diapers are really meant for,
occasional leakage and incontinence, not for a grown man's like midday wee. Oh my God! Oh, in the space of an afternoon, water torture has claimed its second Mythbuster in an unexpected way. But Adam's left in no doubt about the power of those little drops. I'll put it this way. Because you'd have to restrain someone to do that, even if we eliminate the restraints, as we did for me, I felt the pressure. With the restraints, it would be a horrible experience over like 8 or 10 hours or a couple of days. You'd not only feel the pressure from the drip, but you'd be itching, you'd be wet, you'd be cold. All of those factors, I'd say, yeah, absolutely, it would be a torture.
No, it's not a myth. It's been used at least once in my experience. I suppose it's been used other times.
Gerald's too polite to say they should have thought a little more about the consequences of this experiment before starting it. But you get the drift.
It's a very tricky thing to experiment with, torture. Most people don't know it, but it can be very, very deadly.
Well, when we began this, it seemed like a fun, experiment, exciting, almost like a game with the torture. And after talking to Gerald, my opinion of this whole thing has completely changed. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, I felt the same way. I went into this thinking of it like a physical endurance test, like climbing a mountain. And I walked away with it with much more real experience. It was much scarier than I expected.
Yeah, for sure.
So when it comes down to it, we can confirm Chinese water torture through our expert interview, but there's no way we can physically endure anything that would confirm this myth.
Exactly, because at any point we can just say, I'm done, I want off the table, and someone's there to let us off. In reality, that's the fears that you can never get out. And there's no way that we can ever really, experiment that way. We'll never be able to get there.
So let's finish this. We're done with Chinese water torture.
Yes.
Hollywood tells us the correct etiquette when eating lead is a dramatic plunge in the general direction of backwards. But try as they might, the Mythbusters couldn't get a recently deceased pig to do that. So now it's Buster's turn to be blown away.
What did Adam and Jamie do to you?
He's looking a little worse for wear after an unfortunate brush with the Ming Dynasty rocket chair.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
His ass is on fire!
Burnt, but not broken, he stands ready to be blown away.
Right on the edge. Okay, look down.
Okay. After the test of the pigs proved basically that a bullet is not going to throw you back, we decided to do what is the worst case scenario if you're wearing a bulletproof vest, which is going to take all the force of the bullet right here. It's not going to be absorbed in your body. What would happen? So we're going to run through our spate of weapons with this and see if Buster actually gets thrown back.
Even if the bullet gets through the vest, Buster's solid torso will bear the brunt of the impact. Is it enough to blow him away? Expert police marksman Sergeant Alan Normandy will do the honors.
Nothing. Nothing. One round 9mm pistol fired from an MP5.
Bounce.
Nothing the sequel. This will be a 45 cartridge fired through the Tommy gun. That was a hell of a punch to the vest. I mean, the whole thing puffed out.
Aliens.
12 gauge double-aught buck.
Again, it's down to the shotgun to at least knock Buster off the hook. Any high school physics textbook will shoot holes in Hollywood's gunfight scenes. Newton's third law says any action has an equal and opposite reaction. So to make the shootee fly across the room, the shooter would have to be thrown an equal distance backwards. It don't happen.
The simple truth about this test is it's about the impact or effect on the target can't be greater than what the shooter's going to feel, because Newton's laws still apply.
So if he was going to go 10 feet, the shooter would go 10 feet in the opposite direction.
Absolutely.
That's a big gun.
That's a big, big gun. Real big gun.
But Hollywood never lets the laws of physics stand in its way. Remember Tori being blown away? Now we'll reveal some special effects secrets.
I think that was a take.
Oh, you got me!
Yeah, we're going to put on this jerk harness and make you fly. You'll be like Superman, except backwards.
Matt Herron has worked on films like Jurassic Park and the Star Wars prequels. Blowing people away is a special effects staple. First, Tori is strapped into a harness called a jerk suit.
It's nice. It's very slimming. It's very slimming.
Brings out your girlish figure quite well.
Sorry, how could you?
A rope is attached to the back of the suit and looped through a pulley.
Jump! You gotta jump!
We're going to pull, and then it's a timing thing. So you pull, he's going to go flying in the air, and then when he gets over the mats, we're going to ease him in gently.
I see. So that it'll triangulate down to like over here, and he'll get pulled up and then be let down. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
On the other end of the rope, a tug-of-war team, all too ready to jerk Tori off his feet.
It's a Tori Pinata.
For that extra dollop of realism, Jamie straps a bag of fake blood to Tori's chest.
So, Tori, I'm going to shoot you with this thing, and it'll poke a hole in the bag, all right? It's a airsoft pistol.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Cool. Okay, guys. Ready? Yeah. On bang, on bang. 3, 2, 1. Bang! 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 Bang!
Time to perfection, and Tori eats lead, movie style.
Nicely done, Tori.
All right, let's do it again.
It's certainly convincing on the high-speed camera.
Man, the bad guy takes it away.
Tom Cruise will hire me as a stunt.
All right.
But that reveals one last problem. That rope. Well, the clever, geeky guys in the graphics department take care of that during their lunch break.
Well, guys, we threw everything that we had at those pigs, and the most we got was getting the pig to fall off the hook.
I know, it's totally busted. I mean, you see in Hollywood movies, people getting shot, they get thrown back. I mean, this pig went back maybe 2 inches.
Yeah, tops. And we were using deer slugs, fully automatic machine guns.
3 machine guns at once.
Yeah, even the high-powered sniper rifle, didn't really do that much to it. So, and when you think about it, it's not that surprising. It's kind of like a flea running head-on at an elephant. It's no matter how fast you get it going, it ain't going to do a whole lot.
Well, it's just as I said on the shooting range, if it was going to toss the shootee back that much, it's going to shoot the shooter back the same amount. I mean, there's going to be the same reaction.
Equal and opposite reaction.
Exactly. So it's busted. It's busted.
Totally busted.
100%.